So you know I got to lean in.
Hello, everybody. Glad to see y'all. It's time to lean in. We're here to review the latest episode of New Jersey Housewives. How are you, Sammy, Tez, and Jamie?
Lovely.
I'm all right.
You just a hookah. I had it, and it's just too good to put it out. So I had to, it ain't weed, it ain't no cigarette. It's nicotine-free hookah.
It's hooker. It's
So
hooker.
hooker. Did you call her a hooker? You called her a hooker.
That's what I heard.
Yes, because I'm Russian. Wow.
That's what
Whose side are you on, Sammy? Let's mute that square. Oh, no, just All right, so before we get started, everybody, make sure to like and subscribe to the video so you can be notified of all the lean events. Sometimes we do lunch and leans and other great stuff, so you definitely want to stay in the know.
Mhm.
What did y'all, before we get started, what did y'all think of this episode?
I want to get to the end. Whew. Can we get to the end? Can we get to the end? Can we get to the end?
It was. Go ahead, Sammy. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was. I can't even say it was mid. It was just. I think it was just something just to put everything together for next week. It wasn't really popping off.
They had to set up the party.
Yeah,
I give it like a 4 out of 10. I was just glad we didn't see a lot of arguing again, because it seems next week we're gonna get our full fill of
They
it.
could have cut those scenes with the twin mamas. They could have cut half of this and just
They were
made
cute.
next week's episode. They were cute. However, they could have been cut.
Were they?
Next week could have been a super episode, like an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, no.
No, I mean, hour and
No.
40-minute episodes. My God, today. Yeah.
No. We can't do that. I think that the scene with the twins was trying to like set Jen Fessler up for more screen time next season. Give her a little backstory.
Season's over. Move her on.
No, don't. We're not doing that. No.
Fessler can be Fessler out.
I like Fessler. Keep Fessler. Let's
Keep Fessler.
Keep Fessler, get rid of Fuda. Keep the other F.
Hold
Keep
on
the
now.
F and get rid of the other F.
Fuda is the only one who contributed this episode. Fuda and Louie.
Get rid of Fudas and Fupas. Okay, that's my rule.
Wait for second glasses.
Hold on.
All right. Well, let's get started. In the beginning, we have two like 10-second clips of Fuda and her kid, her daughter telling her no, a little badass little girl. And then we have Melissa and Joe very quick. And then we get into Margaret telling her housekeeper she can't have any food. She's setting up, we have her, she's setting up a lunch for Fessler and her auntie and her mama, who's still dressed alike at the age of 90 or 80, whatever it was. So, they start talking about their marriages, divorces, how the twins were best friends with Barbara Streisand growing up. I couldn't tell if they were being funny or if they were being serious, because I thought we would have got a picture when they flashed her a picture and nothing happened.
It wasn't Barbara. It wasn't Barbara at all.
It might have been a Bob.
When they kept saying Bob, I'm like, the Barbara Streisand? Okay, like, can I get a picture or something? But at this rate, it sounds like Fessler, she likes to let it be known that she is well in the star world. This is like the second time she didn't mention somebody she had sex with one. Now the mama,
you know damn well Bravo reached out to Barbara Streisand and said, "Can we use your picture?" And she said, "Fuck no, do not put my face on this show."
Looking like
memories.
She said, "Who are these two Cynthia from Rugrats looking bitches saying they knew me?"
That's Cynthia.
And so, we also learned a little bit about Fessler's background growing up, with her mother and her father getting divorced, and her mother having multiple marriages.
It was two, Danny. It was two.
That's multiple. Thank you, Technical Tammy. And then, they also start talking about Ireland a little bit, and Danielle and Teresa and Melissa. The scene ends with Fessler saying that she hopes Melissa goes to the wedding, and with Marge just rolling them crusty eyes. So I'll start with you, Cortez. What did you think about this scene?
I didn't think. I really did, to be honest. Like, it was, it was cute. It was a scene. I just was like, okay. Mm-hmm. So I have really no thoughts, to be honest. But I mean, like I said, Barbara Streisand, okay, girl.
Okay. Jamie?
Hope you're watching, Barbs.
Please.
One of the things that I didn't notice on this, and I've noticed it previously, anytime that they're talking about Rachel Fuda, Marge really sets the stage, or not Rachel Fuda, I'm sorry, Danielle. Marge sets the stage for it to seem like Danielle just really is this horrible person who is spending her time attacking her. She framed it as, oh, it was horrible, this bully or this girl who's out of her mind or something like that. It was very weird. I was like, no, she's mad and I get it, whatever, but let's not drag it out the way she's dragging out how you responded. But then it's always Jen Fessler who is like, well, she's going through a lot in her personal life. She's a nice girl, but. And so I wish she would kind of tell Marge, like, that's not really how it is. But I like how every time Marge tries to exasperate a situation, Fessler's kind of right there, like, well, not exactly that. She's a nice person. She just got a lot on her plate. I could see a falling out between the two of them very close. I think Fessler is seeing a side of Marge during taping that may not be apparent off camera.
Yeah, I agree, because it seems like Fessler doesn't mind telling Marge when she's wrong, and nobody else really does that.
Yeah.
You think Fessler hasn't watched the early seasons?
Well, it's different when you see it on TV. Like, if you see something on TV, you're like, yeah, you're like, oh, it's a show. You're putting on a show or whatever. But I think when you're filming for 8 hours a day, you're like, girl, do you just never not turn this off? Are you just constantly being this way with people that you work with? Like, I don't know.
I don't get. I mean, I guess setting up Fessler for more screen time for next season. I can see that. I don't really care. Like, I agree with Jamie. Like, I don't care how when they're setting up the story to tell it, they're already making Danielle just this problematic individual. They're not giving the whole scenario. Like, well, she has this issue with her brother. They're saying that she's whining and complaining, saying that it reminds her so much of that. When that's really not the case. They kind of were picking at her about that, which is why she has this gripe with him. But they're not telling that. Just like when they were speaking about Teresa and Melissa, Fessler, she kind of like tries to clean it up and tries to give both viewpoints, but I don't think she does a good job. I think she's still on the Melissa train. Like, she'll say, Teresa does this, but Teresa wasn't included. She had a bridal shower, but Melissa wasn't included. Well, why wasn't Melissa included? Like, give the full story. So if they're going to give an opinion, they can give a proper one. It's just very one-sided, and those are the kind of moments where I kind of like. I like Fessler, but it's in those moments where I kind of give her like a side eye. And how many home-wrecking whores is Marge finna bring on the show? Like the twins.
Oh my God!
How many girls is finna go from marriage to
Fessler wasn't a home wrecker.
She said she cheated.
So she wrecked her own home.
She wrecked somebody else's home. It was a home.
A house is not a home.
Maybe it have a roof, but it was something that somebody stepped under.
Well, does anyone else have anything to add to the scene before we move along? Because this scene wasn't that great.
I will say I am tired of, again, like I say every week, of them like, oh, Melissa, they did Melissa so wrong. Like, I think she was like, it was like Melissa was just like everybody else. She is like everybody else. Yeah. She is.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest.
And she can be held accountable like everybody else.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't think that there's so much on the Melissa train. I just think that it's apparent that the only time Fessler or Rachel Fuda, the only time that they interact with Teresa is when the call sheet calls for them to interact with Teresa. I think because of their proximity to Marge, they are then closer to interact with Melissa on a basis outside of filming. So they're probably getting Melissa's side of the story consistently. So I don't think they're actively like Team Melissa, because like you said, Fessler's trying to insert, but I think all the information she has is just coming from that grimy Gorga. So it's difficult.
I like that. For me, that's Team Melissa, because if you have both of these girls there and you're consistently getting Melissa's story, but you don't think to say, well, how does Teresa feel about this? Or where does Teresa's issue come in?
Yeah.
They're Team Melissa. They're choosing to be Team Melissa based on their connection with Marge. Or just based
look
on
at her mom last week basically said, yeah, no, it's not her fault. She basically Marge has made it clear to everybody on her camp that, Melissa is the victim and Teresa is, she's wrong. That's just what she has. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, so moving right along to the next scene, we have a scene where Dolores and Paulie are meeting Frank and their kids and Frank's girlfriend to celebrate Frankie Jr.'s new job. They get to interacting. It seems like Frank is finally happy. He sees a different side of Paulie. He no longer feels that their family is being broken up, but they have an addition to the family. Frank's girlfriend asks Paulie, did he learn English when he moved to Ireland from America, which was hilarious. And then when they get to talking about engagement, Frank is really shook when Paulie says he already has the ring. I know we beat this dead horse with the Frank, Paulie, and Dolores situation over and over, but anybody have any thoughts here?
I'm gonna say this real quick. So first of all, Paulie, I feel like he was being petty. I feel like he definitely was, because even Dolores was like, maybe she said it in her confessional, but I think even that moment she was kind of quiet, but she was just like looking at him like, what? Because where would they come from? I mean, it would seem like, okay, they're, how they talk about it later, but this could be like the engagement part, blah, blah, blah. But that man has been sick and shut in for the entire season. He's had heart transplants, all type of stuff, kidney transfers, everything going on. Right. So I personally don't think he's had the time to really do that based off of how busy he's been, or she's portrayed him to be. And but I did like seeing Frank kind of gag, and in this whole moment, she tried to turn to be like, oh yeah, something about Brittany. Dolores don't give a damn about Brittany. I think she's happy, but to be honest, I just find it kind of weird too, seeing that, okay, yeah, you're with Brittany, you're happy with her, but you're sitting across from a woman that you could not be happy, you could not stop cheating on, and you want to show how happy you are. To me, it's just weird just to see that dynamic, but I guess they're making it work. Dolores is happy, and I think that's why it doesn't bother her. So that's good to see.
Yeah. I'm so tired of Frank. Again, like we've talked about it in previous episodes where these kids is damn grown. These kids are grown. Stop trying to use our family. You're trying to break up our family, Dolores. Like, you see these kids are in their 30s. They're both getting job promotions. The kids seem very well adjusted despite having Frank Catania as a dad. They seem really like good, grown young adults, and both of them express, I like Paulie. Paulie's great. We're having a good time. Like, none of them care about what's going on in Frank's head. And so I really don't understand why Frank is so dead set on Dolores, you're destroying our family. I think Paulie checked him a little bit, because Frank was really like, he was testing the water. What did you do? How'd you come here? How much money did you have? What'd you do? Oh, you were a receptionist? Like, yeah. And I also got your ex-wife. I got your ex-wife a wedding ring.
Yeah, Frank did say he did admire him, though.
I think he was genuine too when he said that he was kind of impressed. I wonder, is this the job, this dream job? Is this the one that Louis got with Lil Frank? I wonder. And I will say, I'm curious, because I'm not gonna say Paulie, he could have the ring, because Dolores, they're with each other every day, regardless of him being sick and busy, since they live together now. But hell, according to Marge on the after show, they can't get married to Paulie, get divorced.
Yep, baby, so, Marge.
That was interesting to hear. But I will say, I think that, based on how, like, later on when he was on the phone with Gorga, the way that Frank replied regarding if this would be an engagement party, I do think we are gearing into Dolores in Frank season coming up with the whole Paulie situation, or at least if not a season, but a very big storyline regarding Dolores getting engaged and married, and Frank is not going to be for it, because he's had her all this time as not his wife, but still his wife. So he's not going to be able to just let that go.
Yeah, and also you can tell that there's always going to be like a little power struggle there between Frank and Paulie, because even when he asked Paulie about, getting married, Paulie shot back at him, well, when are y'all getting married? That's the question. When are y'all getting married? And Frank is, well, I asked you first. So there's always going to be that dynamic there of some kind of pushback, it seems. That's always going to happen between the two of them.
Paulie just not here for Frank. That's just really what it is.
And that's understandable.
And Brittany.
I feel really bad for Paulie, because you can tell he does not want to fuck with these people. He does not want to sit and have dinner with none of these people. And then, the one time that he says, we'll throw a party, I'm going to celebrate my wife, they come acting a ghetto hood rat mess. A mess.
He knew. You can also tell that Dolores and Frank's kids, they really like Paulie. You can tell.
Yeah. They're good kids.
They can really.
They would like to see their mom happy.
Yeah. Danny, I wanted to not to interject in your program, but since we're on the subject about Paulie, we talked about in our group chat the video where from the after show, where Marge basically said that, or alluded to Paulie still being married, and that they wouldn't get married. I see comments asking about that, so maybe we can talk about that in this moment too.
Might as well, yes. I didn't see the after show, and we had so much in the chat today. I didn't see this, so if you want to take this part, I didn't.
Okay, so basically, it was a scene. It was just a quick little clip where they were talking about it was Dolores and Teresa first, and it switched over to Marge, and Marge basically alluded to him being married. She was like, I don't think they're getting married. Isn't he still married? He's still married, right? And and so people were like saying that this should be room for Dolores looking at Marge crazy, or basically Marge going in her arsenal. This is a part of her arsenal, putting out that this man is still married while supposed to be friends to Marge. So I mean, what y'all think about?
And what's the point? Like, Marge, you act like you can't divorce your current partner and marry another one. You of all people understand how the process works. So what was the purpose of even mentioning something like that? Like, what was the fucking point? We have been watching Paulie and Dolores' whole season. Dolores has been in she's been in bliss. So what is your purpose to even put that out there? Like, for what reason, Marge? For what
and they're not sneaking around because they're very open with it. They're on TV for crying out. So obviously, if he's not divorced, he's at minimum separated.
They're not together.
Yeah, for years.
Yeah, like, it's just, I cannot believe Marge has ticked down the way she has.
Yeah,
I love Marge, but I don't know what the hell she got going on this
season. Listen, Tez and I, and even Chad and I called this 2 seasons ago. Marge was at the peak shit stirring. She's doing what she has to do to be the villain of the show, and at some point it's gonna flip and she's gonna become very Lisa Rinna, where the audience is just gonna be, you are doing entirely too much. I can understand, like, if you're beefing with somebody, you're throwing little jabs in shade, like that's Housewife 101. I don't understand why you are going after and being shady with people who really have never, to my knowledge, Dolores has never said anything negative about Marge. Even when Teresa has ran her low, Dolores is like, well, y'all need to, it's a misunderstanding. Y'all need to get together and talk. So to throw something like that out there, really unprovoked. And then Dolores' reaction when her and Teresa were kind of talking, I don't know, talking about Marge, something must have happened behind the scenes at
because Dolores, and after show, Dolores is she's very stern. Like, she looks fed up. You think I think Marge, like, played the part. I'm not mad at that at all, but she's just fucking with people, and it just feels like very unwarranted. Like,
she's just letting it fly, and whoever it hits is just kind of like, oh well, I'm doing it for the show. That's exhausting.
And what's annoying with Marge is, even when she's showing concern to you, it's not genuine concern. It's trying to rile you up against the other person.
Maybe it's gaslighting. Are you going to sit there like a punk bitch and let her talk to you like that? I would.
That was horrible, wasn't it? I can't believe she did that. With her dry mouth.
I wanted to see, like, I put this on the screen to see, like, whether you live or watching it and watching the replay. Are you a Marge fan? I'm curious. We know there are Melissa fans. We know there are Teresa fans. But I see a lot of comments, never anything about, like, oh, Marge is great. Nobody's ever defending Marge. So if you're team Marge, let us know in the chat or in the replay if you're watching.
And Jamie, you made the comparison, about being the villain like Lisa Rinna and what's going to happen. Marge isn't going to last as long as Rinna being the villain. Marge is not going to be able to handle that like Rinna did.
Yeah, because Rinna had a built-in audience before. Like, regardless of how much of a bitch she is, Lisa Rinna is a legend in Hollywood. Like, from Meryl's Place alone, Lisa Rinna could shoot somebody.
Days of Our Lives.
You'd be like, well, that's Rinna. Marge shot to fame for being a messy bitch on Housewives. And it used to be cute and funny, and now it's just like, girl, you're 60. You're 60 being this messy.
Yeah, let me shut up. So anyway, once again, you guys, real quick, just a reminder to like and subscribe. Like this video and subscribe to our channel, please, so you can get all the notifications. The next scene now, we have Teresa and Louie. They're going over some wedding stuff. They call Louie's mom and ask her, if they'll do a special dance with him since Teresa doesn't have her father there. And, she's just very, whatever you want, whatever you want to do. Looks staged to me, but whatever. And then Teresa says that, that Melissa is not coming to the rehearsal dinner. And she actually did genuinely look sad about it. And then we did find out that Joe Giudice called Louie to warn him not to let Gorga interfere in their marriage. Thoughts? Sammy?
It has to be a hell of a thing for Joe Giudice to call and say, hey, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Be prepared. I will say, initially, when Teresa was upset about them not making the rehearsal dinner, I was thinking, why would they come? They're not in the wedding. But I think that was just her still trying to make her brother feel included, because that is the only family she has there. So I think that's her trying to make him feel included. I believe at some point Teresa did want at least to have Joe in the wedding, but everything has gone on too far, and now Louis is just fucking sick of it.
Yeah.
So I think that was her way of still trying to include them, but she can't really be. I don't think she can feel a way about them not coming. Like a rehearsal dinner is for the rehearsal of the wedding. They're not a part of the wedding, so why would you expect them to eat there? Especially with everything going on, you should have known that they would decline. So you shouldn't even bother to even invite them.
I agree. You know, I always thought initially that he was going to be the one to walk her down the aisle.
I did too.
That did too, Jamie? Any thought?
No, it's the same old thing. I watch it and I get exhausted because it's like either stand in not inviting them to anything and just leave it at that. But this back and forth and this wishy-washy and this yes, I'm gonna invite you, but that like you're both setting each other up to look like fucking assholes. And the audience is hip to what you're doing. None of you are doing anything out of the pure goodness of your heart. You're just trying to one up the other person at this point. And I think she can probably be genuinely disappointed that he's not coming, but I think she's more so disappointed of just like, I don't know, like I think she's tired. And we've said this before. She's been tired for 3 to 4 fucking years, but there's something about the two of them that will always rile her up and put a battery back in her back, no matter how tired she is. And Joe is the Energizer Bunny of petty. Like that man will never get exhausted of fighting with his sister. Ever.
He knows what buttons to push for her.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Cortez?
No.
I knew it. You know, I agree with you, Jamie, when it comes to the, like, I feel like all 4 of them play the phony part. Like, I want you here. I don't want you here. I'm going to go even though I don't want to. I'm not going to go. You know, they all keep thinking of ways to be petty and hurt each other. Mm-hmm. And you're right, it is exhausting. And I still pray to God that next season, one of the pair is not there. I cannot do another season. I probably won't lean in next season if all
Girl, I can't do that. Bravo need to step in and be like, I swear to fucking God, nobody better mention each other. Like, y'all fight with somebody else.
It's just, you know, and in the whole, you know, Teresa, I definitely felt like they planned ahead of time and told Louis' mother, we're going to call you and this is what you're going to say.
Yeah.
I totally believe that. So anyway, the next scene was one that I actually enjoyed a lot. It's Danielle and her mother at her house going through the inventory for her online store. You know, they start talking about Danielle and her brother's relationship. And apparently it comes out that he doesn't speak to the mother either. Because apparently she took Danielle's side, and the son doesn't want to fix. You know, he doesn't want to fix the relationship, and he's, you know, iced out the mother, iced out her, and you know, Danielle's really emotional. I can tell her emotions when it comes to her brother; they're actually genuine. Yeah, each time, because I mean, you only fake that once or twice. She cries every time his name is mentioned. So, Cortez.
So in this scene, it did become very clear to me. You know, I do think her hurt is genuine. It did feel a little set up, just so the mom can kind of talk about the goods when they were growing up, and to kind of get us on this journey of feeling, you know, and empathizing with Danielle. I like her mom. I like her mom's energy. You know, this is the second time we've seen her, right? I think, or third time, or I don't know. Yeah, and this time, you know, first of all, she's a firecracker mom. I do see that, because then she says she wanted to like have to whoop somebody's ass or something in one of these early episodes.
The scene when they got back from Ireland when they were talking.
Right. But it's interesting because the brother is not talking to the father. Mm-hmm. So I think he's the only one that he is talking to, I believe, per the previous episode. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I hope that she gets, you know, I ain't gonna say help, but get some closure on this, or at least they can. So maybe we find out at the reunion that they're speaking. You know how we saw Whitney was having issues with her father, and then she found out she was speaking to him, and then also she wasn't speaking to him no more. Danielle is not as annoying as Whitney from Salt Lake City, so hopefully he comes around watching this and seeing that she's genuinely hurt, and I hope they really get down to it. But I really hope that it's not just about this Instagram post, because it has to be deeper.
It's not. It has to be watching this scene. watching this scene, I agree with the both of you. The hurt is real. They are not being 100% truthful on their culpability on the side of things. Because hearing them tell the story, it's like, well, we just couldn't stop arguing, and one day he got mad at Instagram and we ain't talked in 30 years. Like, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
One of the things that really struck me as odd, though, is the mother had completely no emotion about talking why her son has completely cut off contact with her. And I don't know a single mother who is genuinely hurt about stuff that is going to sit there and just be like, oh, well.
She looked like she was going to cry at first.
Hopefully someday. But it's more so telling the dynamics. He still talks to the dad. And so seeing Danielle and her mom together, there had to have been years of just the two of them ganging up on him, or him feeling like they were ganging up on him, to just finally be like, y'all are a package deal. Fuck y'all. I'm rocking with dad because that's the only one that has my back. We got more emotion from the dad when the dad was talking about it. That man broke down and about had a heart attack talking about why his son doesn't talk to anybody.
He turned red.
From watching the interactions from the first scene we saw with her parents, you can tell that the dad is more sensitive and caring than that parent, which is he probably was more he gave the son what he needed in that moment. Danielle has said that it was a whole thing with the wife before they got married about how they kind of were butting heads. So it was that, and then the Instagram thing happened. So I think it was just a pile up, and after so many things, the Instagram part was just you know what, fucking I'm done with y'all. But you can tell that the mom is very like no nonsense. So she probably, I'm not gonna say she doesn't give a damn, but if you want to be an asshole and not talk to me, then take your new wife and go to hell on. That's what I get from the mom.
She was probably tag teaming the wife with Danielle.
Yeah, and then you have the dad who's just in tears and he can't believe it's happening. So I can see why he still has a relationship with the brother, and then these two don't.
Yeah, and I do think that it has something to do with his wife, because when the mother was talking about them growing up, that how Danielle used to always torture him and bully him, but if somebody would talk about her, he would protect her. Danielle said, and I think that's what happened. He stopped protecting me. So I feel like that comment was weird to make. Like, you think that's what went wrong? He stopped protecting you, and so
now you keep bullying him.
Yeah, that leads me to believe that something happened with his wife and her.
It just feels like from what she told us initially, it just sounds like she was the Joe Gorga when it came to him and his wife. She still wanted control. She still wanted
mama
to be the big sister.
Yeah. And them clothes weren't that cute, by the way. But
I kept looking at the clothes trying to find something that I liked about it, especially after seeing the emphasis of that woman at the store. She was like, "Oh my God, I love this," and I was like, "I don't love this."
I keep thinking that we're in Jersey Shore, so
what have we seen in Jersey that was just like, "Oh, that looks so good"? Like this.
But maybe in Jersey that is just maybe it's like the Lisa Nicole Cloud collection.
Don't nobody about that.
Lisa Cloud. The thing that I may have just been a little drunk or a little stoned, but this whole scene was like 15 minutes long, and Danielle just kept turning and bringing more shit out of a box. It was like 38 pieces of clothing.
She was trying to advertise it.
My God, how big is
she held up those dresses, and she was like trying to advertise. I feel like she was like, "Oh my God, don't cry, Mom."
She should get a table at the flea market.
Oh my God!
I'm confused. Is she the designer, or is she just like the third party that connects kids designers and brings them together to sell the clothes?
It comes from Danielle. That's like all the rest of these shops.
Isn't that all of them? So the irony. Yeah. The irony of selling children's clothes while having children overseas make the children's clothes. I love that for her.
Allegedly.
Love it.
All right, so moving right along, we now get into a scene with Jennifer Aiden and her brother going to the new apartment that she helped secure for him at a great rate within their budget, because she knows the owner. They picked out all the furniture. She got the decorator. I don't know what they decorated because it looked like a corporate apartment. That was tacky. To me, they love the unit. I liked the interaction with her sister-in-law and her. I thought that was sweet. And then they start talking about, how busy and absent Bill is. Jen's brother reminds her of Bill's culture that, in his culture, it's the man's place to work and she takes care of home. And Jen tells her brother that Bill doesn't even want therapy, so she doesn't know what to do at this point. So, we've talked about this numerous times with Jen and Bill, but it's interesting to see, to me, her brother didn't look like he really cared.
Her brother's similar to Bill. Like, we just finna take care of y'all and everything else. We gonna bring the money and y'all need to do everything else. That's for her brother. He even basically kind of told her that. I'm sick of Jen and Bill. Like, if you gonna stay with the man, he's not gonna change. What are you gonna stay, or what are you gonna do differently? If it's not working for you, then just leave his ass. Don't bring this shit up in here next year.
Isn't it funny that we sick of everybody on the show?
Look,
because it's
we
like,
still watching.
Like a broken record. It's like a broken record. And the only thing that I had to say about this scene was that I really hope that Jen changed the sheets, because in the last
I thought that was a decoration.
I was like, I hope she got some new sheets for her sister and brother-in-law, whatever they were to her. I thought it was nice. It was good to see. I didn't know, it's good to hear the backstory. Obviously, she said that their family helped take care of them when he was in residence, so he wasn't bringing enough money. So that's good. That's something not to hold over somebody's head, but he is the breadwinner now. But I hope he didn't forget like what they did for him.
No. She said his family,
his mother, his family.
My in-laws. Yes. So it's been Bill, and I thought about that as well. She was, I was in her brother's apartment. I'm like, you just taking Bill money. He gotta go to work, so he want to go to the pool house when he get off. You making the man work 3 times as hard because you spreading the money here, there, and every fucking way. Girl, let this man go to the pool house. Go out there with him. Put the kids to sleep and go out there with him. If it's that he don't want to come to the damn pool house. He said it's too loud. Go out there with him. Like, she gonna have to do something different. 6 of them damn kids.
I was making Brussels sprouts. I didn't see.
Loud and wrong.
My bad.
You didn't miss nothing.
I missed that, whatever.
you missed that one very important detail. I like.
What about you, Jamie?
I want more of this story. Less fighting about bullshit. I want to hear more about
Bill
your family. Don't you yelling into the mic at me? No, I don't want to hear about Bill. I want to
come back, Taz. Come back.
I don't want to hear about Bill. I'm talking about the immigration story of the brother, how difficult it is to get established here, what sacrifices family have to make. Because this is the Jen that I like seeing. Because you can genuinely tell that lady really does love her family. With that sissy brother, with her parents that were fighting, with this other brother, like she cares about her family.
Well, dang.
I will say the apartment itself was very cute. I would have taken my friend outside and been like, where the fuck did you get these decorations? I asked you to decorate my apartment, and it looks like aisle 3 of a Marshall's. We're not doing this.
I feel like Jen decorated it and just said that. Jen took those decorations from that Jersey Shore house, brought them over here, and acted like she was a decorator.
Turquoise and chrome. I wanted to.
That lady is a stranger.
And when they panned the camera to it, I was expecting to see something magical. I was like, girl, I could have did this shit.
Okay,
I could have went right up there to the
Her 9-year-old did it.
Maybe the Queen of Paramus has lived up to her budget.
That 9-year-old girl did it. They trying to change her from being a therapist to a decorator.
It was very.
What happened? Frank. Bill said you can decorate that apartment, but this is the amount you can spend. So she had to be smart about it. So maybe that's
because I've seen people decorate down on a budget. This gave tasteless.
I'm gonna tell you what it gave to me.
Taste.
It gave the apartment. They made one call to Aaron's Rents. It had everything furnished down to the walls to the.
Not Aaron Rents.
The Renaissance, whoever.
I'm gonna be quiet because the viewers like to come in and shade us. So I don't want nobody saying my apartment is not whatever.
What you're saying about mine?
No, they can.
You don't see nothing but a wall and the curtain. So shade me.
Jamie, your background. You look like you're filming a confessional. You have a really nice background.
Today, this you're on point with.
The viewers better play nice.
Okay, talk about wigs and shit.
I think it's really a green screen.
They don't show their face.
It's a green screen because Jamie don't live over there, child. It's a green screen. Terry Joe, the troll.
I hate you.
That's really where Jamie lives. That little background.
In the country house.
Yes.
All righty. So now we have food and family. They talk about Her and her husband first talk about how the process has started. They're looking for the mother like a fugitive.
The irony with her being in jail.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they call.
You got to call county.
They call Jaden down and inform him of everything and ask him how he feels. And when they're explaining to him that they're trying to search the mother, he actually looked concerned that they would find her and she could prevent it. And that was very telling to me.
Mm-hmm.
He looked concerned. So it is nice to see that he genuinely does love Fuda for real. And you can tell that that's all real. Like, I agree with what we said before. This all seems like, let's do it now for the show, because they could have been did it. Yeah. So, like you always said, we question the timing of them wanting to adopt him. He's about to go to college in 2 years, so why now? But anyway, I do like that Fuda reassures him, that if this is too much for you at any time, we can stop, And I like how they shared some memories, the first time they met and stuff. So I'll start with you, Tez.
I actually really like this scene just because, I know we talked about this last week. People were saying the scene was cringy and blah, blah, but I feel like this scene gave me a bit of reassurance as well, because I felt like I wasn't quite understanding, but once she broke it down to her miscarriage and how she met the stepson and everything like that, it made sense. Because at first, I'm not gonna lie, until they brought him in, it was giving kind of selfish, like she was, she wanted to adopt him for her own self and the things that she's been through. But when he came down, he did speak up and he did seem concerned, like, why, like, it's basically like why would there be a problem with you being my stepmom? But she explained it, in a good way. I mean, he's not that young, but he's still a child. He's 17, right?
Yeah.
17. So I like this scene. I do hope that they push forward with I think that the mother is going to give some pushback. Like,
there have been some stuff about her in the blogs, saying that a lot of stuff that they're saying is not true.
She said she never got no paperwork or nothing. But isn't she in county? Like, isn't she in jail?
She locked up on drugs.
Yeah. So
the mother said she never got any paperwork.
She said she never got any.
I have drug addicts are 100% reliable sources.
She's a drug addict, allegedly.
A drug addict, alleged drug addict in jail.
Hold on, but Jamie, like you say, two things can be true. That's your favorite line. She could be a drug addict and still.
I've never said that in my life.
That lady is gonna come and she's gonna complicate everything Jamie lives in and for, just like Tasha K. They're just so if y'all don't see
Jamie's mirror is gonna be gone first.
That means she came.
She's gonna take that there. I like this story, and this is what I don't get. We see a person like Ralph on Atlanta say, "I'm not gonna adopt this kid. This ain't my kid. Well, he knows that I love him. I don't have to adopt him. There ain't none of that." And people are like, "He needs to adopt him." And then we got Rachel Fuda wanting to adopt baby Fuda, and it's like, why does she want to adopt him? He has a mother. And it's like, I don't know what you want from these people. To me, it made sense that they waited till he was older. That's a lot to because he wasn't a baby when they met. He was he was already in like first or second grade, so he already had a working knowledge of his mother. So to put all of that on a brand new kid, or even at 10, 11, 12, and have to sit him down and make a decision of, do you want me to be your mom? Do you want me to adopt you? How do you feel about your mom? Like, that's a lot. So I think 15, 16 years old is an adequate time to be like, this is on you. You think about it. What do you want us to do? You tell me. And I think it's less about, any kind of like, well, he's getting ready to turn 18. He's going to college. Adopting somebody and being their legal adopted guardian, that gives her the right to take care of him in the event that John Fuda passes. That's the main thing about it. Because at the end of the day, she's still going to love him and he loves her. Duh. But now this is some protection on the kid, I think. So kudos to her. That boy stole the daddy's face. He looks exactly like John Fuda. That's all I know. But I like this. I want to see more of this shit. Like, let me see their families.
I agree with you, Jamie. Even though, like we said, even though I said a lot of people question the timing of her wanting to adopt him, like for the show, this is still the type of stuff that I like to see on Housewives. Real family stuff. Like, we're arguing here and there, but this is the type of stuff I like to see.
This scene actually made Rachel enjoyable. Like, not enjoyable. I'm not gonna say that, but I like it. I was able to.
So close.
There was a connection there with her. It was very telling when she brought the son down to tell him. His face lit up, And then there was no concern, there was no worry until she said, "But your mom might can stop it." And all of a sudden, it was like, "Well, shit." That's when you could see the dissatisfaction. That it was very telling on how she's been with him and the connection they have. So, I mean, it does seem a little weird that they want to do it now that cameras are in their face, but you can tell that they really do have it.
I mean, he's almost 18. He'll be
Yeah.
able to make
so it was nice to see.
I like when she explained it to him. She said, "You made me a mother. You made me."
That's
a
what
mother.
I was going to say, Jaden. That actually touched me when she said that.
I was like, "Oh,
yeah."
Are you throwing up or are you crying?
No, I'm crying.
And then when he did the flashback to when they first met, that he remembers that still. I thought, you could tell. I could say whatever I want about Fuda. I don't like. She's a good mother. I'm gonna give her that.
Because even when she was telling him, if it's too much, I'll stop it, and he was like, "It's never gonna be a point for you to stop it. Let's go ahead and get this shit going." Basically, he was saying, "Let's get
we should have been doing this."
That's what he was
before the other woman's up for parole. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's hurry up and do this before you get pregnant again.
She get released, and I gotta be her son.
All right. And then so, as we move on towards the end of the show, we see a lot of a few 5-10 second scenes of people getting ready for the party, yada yada yada, and then we settle on, we see Melissa and Joe. They talk about Paulie, and they wonder if Frank is going to the party, so they call him. And Frank goes over the dinner they had. Then the scene goes to Dolores and Paulie. Then Marge and Joe talk about Melissa and Teresa. Jen talks about Marge and Laura and about how much Laura knows. And they're wondering, Teresa was wondering why Melissa didn't stick up for her. And is it because Marge has something on her, and it was confirmed that she does. Thoughts?
This Laura bitch. This is the messiest bitch in the history. This is the. It's the fact
brought her. That's the Giovanna.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
If on this show, Laura will be on damn camera eating cookies.
Eating cookies.
Danielle need to bring her.
If Danielle was bad, she would go meet up with her and get paparazzi to follow her, and then be like, take it.
This bitch is the messiest bitch in Housewife history, and she ain't had but second of camera time. My God, messy.
It definitely tracks to her Marge and Frank. What happened, Sammy? I'm sorry.
I said Jennifer just needs to go ahead and get a scene going with Laura. Let's give Marge, and Marge want to talk so damn much. Let's give her a reason to talk so damn much. Bring Laura on and let them go at it in front of y'all. Y'all can really see who know what's true and what's not.
Marge Senior would pop up.
Marge Senior sit her ass down.
Marge Senior's ready to bust somebody.
Oh, she gonna bust her ass. She can barely move as it is.
I can say that when the scene went to Bill and Jennifer, I was like, if they bring up therapy, I'm gonna scream. So I was just very
sure enough
something else.
Sure enough.
Alrighty, and then for our final scene, we get into Teresa and Louis talking about what they're gonna wear to the party. Then they talk about Joe, and honey, Louis goes in and says how he doesn't want him there. He's putting his foot down. He's gonna take Teresa out of the snake pit, and he don't want him at the wedding. And granted, I know that it's his wedding too, but that's still her brother. That should be her call, because you can see her nose red, like she's tired of crying about it. You saw when he said that he didn't want him at the wedding, her face got a little more red, like she wanted to cry again.
She did. She was definitely a little hurt, kind of like, I can't believe it's got to this point. I think it was more of like, I feel away, but now, the person that I'm supposed to spend the rest of my life with, he's feeling away. And, I don't know if you mentioned it about him saying like him not wanting him at the wedding. Like I was like, you could tell she was kind of sad. I think it really kind of hit her like, damn, this is like the reality. Like this is probably it,
And you know what? She looked hurt, but it seemed like a bit of it was clicking. And as like Danny said, like it's both of y'all's wedding. Like she should have some type of say. But I am not mad at Louis, because if you think about everything he said, they're gonna come there, they're gonna be Debbie Downers, they're gonna be pouting. It's a potential for Melissa to start complaining about not being in the wedding again. It's a potential for Joe to start showing his ass. Don't bring your ass over here with that on my wedding day. And
Thankfully they don't.
I was 100% with Louie. Like, no, I don't even want them there. If this is how they're being about it, just don't bring them. And I can get Teresa, that's her only family. So I can see why she was just down in the press. But I was with Louie 100%. Everything he said. And for it to be, I mean, I believe I've said that before. Like, Joe wants to be Teresa's savior. Like, her being happy doesn't work for him because he can't come in and be supportive. Like, it makes no sense. Like, we've seen Teresa on this show for years, and this is probably the happiest she's ever been. And now she's miserable because she's not conforming to what you and Melissa want. No, y'all are full of shit. And I was so glad that Louie, red faced and all, sat on that bed and told Teresa, "Look, I'm done with this shit. And if you keep going at it, I'm gonna be a totally different person." And I'm glad. And everybody's like, this is Louie showing his true colors. No, Louie sick of kissing their ass. Teresa's been doing it, just like you told her, you've been loving and you also been naive. And I think that's why Louie's been trying to help her make it right. But at this point, Louie seems like a lost cause. So we just want to wash our hands with this. Teresa, you bring your ass on to let Joe and Melissa go do what they want to do, and you come over here and be happy. And I'm not mad at him for putting his foot down when it came to that, because it's become too much. Like, Joe and Melissa are too entitled, and they need somebody to check their ass. And I'm glad Louie is here now.
You know, I agree with that, but I also feel like part of Louie putting his foot down now is knowing that they caught that hot mic moment.
Exactly. So he's like, I have no reason to pretend.
I feel like these are his genuine. No, Sammy. I feel like these are his genuine feelings. He feels this way. But had they not had that hot mic moment, he still would have faked the funk a little bit longer. Now that he knows it's about to come out, he pretty much just said, "Fuck it, I'm not going to play."
You know what I think did it?
How I really feel.
You know, I think did it was that, because mind you, we haven't seen them interact since Fullest House, I believe, when he said that kind of pissed him off when they called Teresa miserable. But then after that, you have them reaching out to Melissa and Joe, and they're like, "Well, no, we're not coming here. We're not coming there." And then on top of that, now my fiance's ex-husband is calling me saying, "This is how they are. This is what they do." And I think at this point, Louis is like, "You know what? Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it."
I can see that point. How you feel?
Yeah, I feel like he's just sick of it. And I'm glad somebody's damn sick of it, because even in the moment, Teresa was making excuses. "I'm sorry, and I can't believe my brother's doing this. He's doing this because you're getting married. Like, you're in a good space."
But that's the only thing.
She keep making excuses for him. Like, no.
You know what else? I think another reason she's sad too. I'm sorry, I think another reason Teresa's sad too is she's gotten used to operating at dysfunction.
Right.
And that dysfunction is about to be over, and she's not going to know what to do with herself. That's been a part of her life forever, you know, dysfunction with him. So she doesn't know she probably doesn't know what a life without that looks like.
The only thing Louie missed on was telling Teresa point blank, "You are culpable and you are contributing to the dysfunction that you are living in." Everything he said about Joe and Melissa is true, but they would not be doing that shit if it hadn't been year after year after year of again, "You're not invited." "Well, you are invited. Are you coming?" "Well, I'm mad you're not coming." It's like, girl, uninvite him or don't invite him. Like, what are we doing here? Teresa is just as guilty. That's the only thing Louie missed on for me.
Well, he told her,
I don't care if she cried. He's
Yeah,
tired of her ass too. Y'all are all fucking crazy.
I was saying that, just shaking his head and like they and Louis been here for 2 years, and it took 2 years. All he needed to realize this is some crazy ass shit that I don't want to be a part of.
And Cortez, real quick before you give your view, can you put the link up for callers?
Yes,
if it's not already up.
So my whole thing about it, I guess, when he broke it down and he said that he didn't like when she said she was miserable because he did say that, you know, they both kind of alluded to her like not being happy. But I mean, Teresa also said, I don't know who said it first, because Teresa said that he wasn't happy. You know, who said it first? Y'all remember who said it first? Was it Joe or was it Teresa? Because they both gave off.
You can't never tell with them. It's always.
I can't remember. I want to say that I remember they were talking, and
I think Teresa
told him, "You just don't." I think it was Teresa first. She told him, "You just don't seem like you're happy."
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in this moment, I think when he said that, and I think he, you know, one I will say, when you're someone's spouse, you want to feel supported always. You want to feel like, you know, like you're not looking for validation or acceptance, but you want to, especially in a place like Jersey where family is everything, you want to feel like it. And I think, you know, I know the world is going crazy saying Louis is trash. Louis is a bit of trash. There are some red flags that I see, and according to his red face, it's red all over there, right? But in this moment, I think this was a valid feeling that he had, like, by, you know, not necessarily wanting to, because I mean, it's causing them issues. You know, he got in a fake funk on camera. however Teresa feels, I think he's just fed up, like y'all said, and I didn't see anything wrong with him saying it. Now he said, I don't even want them to be in the wedding. I was surprised he said that because I didn't think that was something that would have been said. I thought it was something that they decided. So I'm curious, was this like the moment where she was like, you know what, we're not going to have them in the wedding, or like do they decide not to come on their own? I'm not really sure. I guess we'll find out on the
Well,
yeah.
Well, they said they decided not to come on their own because whatever happens next week at the finale
That's what I was going to say.
made them say, "Oh, we just not going at all."
Yeah, Louis is done. Like Art World just said, he's done, and like it's a lot of dysfunction over there, and no one wants to have that, especially when going into their wedding. Like I said earlier, it doesn't really. I guess both of them have said they were miserable, but it doesn't really matter who said it because at this moment, Teresa's getting married. They're already married. I'm not saying they're against the other, but at the same time, she's getting married. This is the man she's choosing, and if someone told my wife that they were miserable and I'm supposed to be the person to keep them happy, and she said I'm part of her love bubble and happiness, that's like a slap in the face. So he's back.
And I think it's very telling for him to say we've been the happiest we've been these last 2 or 3 weeks because we ain't been dealing with the Gorgas. Like, goddamn, at what point does Teresa need to see to realize like this is your brother, your only living relative, cool, whatever. But
I think she keeps thinking about her parents, like with her parents.
Yeah, they're gone.
Mom,
they're gone. She needs to
I know,
let Joe go
but
too.
the Italians like that, even when they're dead, they swear on their souls and stuff, So I think she keeps thinking about her mother more than anything. That would they be okay with me giving up on her, I think
she
that's
wants
big.
somebody there for her that's her family, but you're gonna have to rock with your daughters, Teresa, because I mean at this point, Joe's no good when it comes to that.
Hell, Joe Guidice has been more supportive to Teresa in the years after
their divorce,
him sending her to prison, and their divorce, than her own brother. Like the fact that man told her, "You look gorgeous. I'm happy for you. I can't wait for y'all to get married. He's a good guy for you." And has been like on Instagram supporting her, supporting the daughters. Like, baby, if he's telling your new husband, do not let her brother do to you what he did to us, I'd be like, bet, thank you, man.
I'm telling you, I think that conversation really
that was a big
yeah.
And in seeing the preview for next week, I am excited for 2 things. Definitely excited to see Danielle pointing out at Marge's face and not backing away, Jamie. She stays there.
Well, I wonder if production locked the doors and wouldn't let her leave.
And then also,
but she stayed.
But she stayed. Yeah,
and Marge couldn't take it.
Marge couldn't take it at all.
She would try to, but someone dragged her off. They're like, you don't want to do this.
And then Louis was actually scary looking when he made his little face and stuff.
Baby.
Like, if I was,
what I appreciate about that, Louis, this is why like when you have them type of conversations before you go somewhere, I would just stay at home because at this point y'all are anticipating bullshit. I feel like that's why Teresa and Melissa get into it. She had that whole rant with Louis before they go. And at her, like they're anticipating issues, and he said verbatim, like if we go there tonight, it's scary what could happen. Like I'm going to be a totally different person.
And
so y'all already going in there on edge. Like it's just.
And it's interesting to see Teresa walking away, trying not to argue. Melissa following her. Now Teresa had turned around and hauled off on her ass and beat her up.
That's what I wanted.
Okay,
because Teresa was walking away.
Get away from me! Get away from me!
And then here goes Joe. Who's he talking to? Joe, he's talking to you. Like you're talking to you. And
from over the counter, who's he talking to?
He looked like the Joker too. Louis looked.
He did look like the Joker. Like he could have been cast as it. And all you see at the end is Dolores' face,
Paulie. Paulie on the phone. Get these people out of my house.
911.
This is a nice house. They're not gonna break my shit.
So yes, that was the episode. Cortez, do we have any callers in the queue?
I don't see any callers. I mean, I put the link in the chat. I'm gonna put it in again if you guys want to call.
Is there one?
Okay, y'all been having so much to say in the chat.
I know. Come on in here, y'all. But
where's Sean at?
Huh?
Where did both the 2 Seans? Is the Sean and what's
Sean was here yesterday, and it was somebody else that was here last week. April. And I think it was April.
I want to hear Art World because Art World has had a lot to say about. She doesn't like Fuda. She doesn't like Fuda's storyline.
Art World likes everybody I like. That's why I like Art World.
I want Taylor to call in because Taylor said Louis Slipper started the show, and I want to understand what he mean by that.
Oh yeah, Taylor, you have told me you have been going to call in every time we talk about
this
on Twitter, and you ain't never called in, Taylor.
He's called in before.
Yeah,
have I been on the panel?
No, you
I
was
mean,
one of your
who's calling
midnight
then?
talks.
Okay,
That's probably why he
so
didn't.
he had
That's
never
probably why
called
he
in when
called
I've
in.
That's
been on
probably
here.
why he calls
probably
in when
called
you're
in
off.
because you was off. Yeah, I mean,
That's probably why he called
Wow.
in.
Asia
Wow.
said she would call in, but she don't know these people. I understand.
It's okay. We can have an early.
I will say this. So just so you guys know, of course we have the finale next week, and then in 2 weeks we have the Teresa special, her wedding special, and then there's a 3-part reunion. So beginning the week of the reunion, we'll actually be moving this show because they actually moved Jersey to 8:00 Eastern on Tuesdays. So we'll actually be live starting on Tuesdays, the week of the reunion. So we won't be on Wednesdays. We'll be on at 9:05 Eastern to talk about the reunion part 1, part 2, and part 3. So make sure y'all I'll post about it too. Make sure y'all keep
subscribe.
But if you
so y'all
subscribe,
get
you'll get the
notifications.
notifications.
Well, sometimes people be saying they don't be get them. Dr. C, who always talking about they don't get them. Like
Follow
Because
me.
they
Follow me
subscribe,
on
but they
Twitter.
don't turn alerts on, so they have to.
Because I get them.
Go in y'all
Follow us on
iPhone,
Twitter. We gonna be
or if you're
tweeting.
Androids, if you got an Android, and I don't know how Androids work. Maybe that's why y'all ain't getting them because y'all got Androids. I don't know.
And this is
No,
my.
I don't know
Our
nothing
Will
about
said he
that
definitely-
lifestyle.
Jamie, we'll have Jamie put a tutorial up for Android because he had an Android for about 3 months.
And then these are either our Instagrams or our Twitter names, so you can always follow us, and
Our
we'll
Will
give
said
you.
never gets the notification. That's crazy.
Wow.
I don't know.
Okay,
It's still here, baby.
Crazy.
Let me say this. Make sure y'all
Crazy.
subscribe and then also click that little bell. So the bell is what will let you know.
Get the alert.
So subscribing is like saying you want to be a part of, you want to be down with the crew. But if you want to get the you got to hit the bell. And the bell will send you everything you need to know. So make sure I hit that bell too.
I do want to say this. If you do follow us on Instagram, send a message letting us know you're from the lean so we can accept and follow back. Sometimes people follow, I don't know who they are because the profiles are also private. So I just let them sit there because I don't know. So many scams these days. People is losing their Instagrams and stuff. So I don't want it to be me. So
Danny,
if y'all follow us, let us know so we can follow you back.
Danny's very exclusive. Danny's very exclusive. Very Club 96.
No, I've got some just a profile picture of a car. And it's private. Like, what am I doing?
Is it a red car?
That's probably my no. I want the red one.
Okay, well, like we don't have any callers, so before I let Danny take us out, I will say this too. As he said, like and subscribe. But as you see, Danny is now hosting, and outside of growing our hosting circle, we're going to be growing the Lean family in general. So soon we're going to be sending out notifications, alerts on the Instagram page and whatever. Basically, we're going to be recruiting new panelists. We have been, I think the 9 of us have been doing this for about 3 years now, some longer. But the Lean is going on 4 years this year. So we're looking to expand the family and the Lean family. So if you are interested in joining the panels to discuss, not just call in, but actually be a part of the panels. And, for some of our future shows, I'm going to send out notifications. Make sure you guys check out those, and then it'll have basically all the information you need to see, your email, your information, and we'll start there. Or if you know somebody that you feel like maybe a good fit, that can get up here and do what we do, because anybody out there can really do what we do. Not really.
Not me. Not me.
But if you think you can, which I'm sure you could, be on the lookout for that, because we're going to be looking to expand the Lean family. We do have a caller in the queue now. So.
Oh Lord, I thought we were done.
Right, and that caller is. You know what? Our World says they're gonna make sure they call in because they don't want you to thinking that. So Our World, what's going on?
Hey guys.
How are you?
No, I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Can you hear? Okay, good. I just wanted to say that the Rachel story, why I don't particularly care for it. The reason is when she first told the story, it almost seemed rehearsed. And I do feel like she wanted to do the adoption as a storyline. So when she was speaking to her husband, she seemed like she was just trying to get all the information out. Like, remember we talked about this point 1. And the mother, she doesn't even check in on the son. I have to tell her about her son, and and she told the story about the mom was on drugs or something. And I just didn't like her speaking about the mother when the mother doesn't have a voice. She's not on the show. And that's really like the only part I don't like about it. So I fast forwarded today when I watched the show, so I don't know what happened. But you guys, when you spoke about it, you said she's genuine. So maybe she is, but I just don't like how she speaks about the mom. I mean, the mom might be all she's saying, but we don't know,
She
and
ain't there
that
to
is his
defend
mom.
herself.
She can't defend
Well,
herself. That's his mom.
her son's
So,
reaction to saying, can she come back and claim me after she gave me up, is all I need to know with how that lady's been interacting with him.
and that's true, but when he becomes an adult, he'll have a different understanding of how life works. And then he can speak to his mother and they can hash it out. So he's valid in how he feels right now as a child, but it's going to be different once he becomes an adult. And if he does, he could, create a bond with his mom when he's older.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all. I don't like it, and Marge is trash as always. So
I thought you was Team Marge.
God
never.
damn.
No.
Not Marge.
I never.
Marge always catches
Never.
strays.
I never
We
liked
ain't
Marge.
stray, she deserves
I
it.
know if you turn that camera on, we're gonna see some poses of Marge in the back, some blonde.
Okay.
I know
She got pigtails.
She's sitting up there with some pigtails right
I'm
now.
going to be very
No.
clear. Ever since
Let me
day
cut
one,
it.
Art
No,
Wall has been on the
no.
side I am all the time.
Yes, all the time. I'm with you. There's no Marge. I don't. My hair is too short to have a ponytail.
So was Marge.
Mine
Somebody
too.
need to tell her
Oh my
that.
God, mine too. Oh my God, what am I gonna
Somebody
do?
need to tell Marge that.
Oh,
Can we wear
Oh, they-
pigtail wigs for the finale
You can do
next
whatever you
week?
want.
Oh my gosh, I would
not
die.
pigtail wig. Oh, baby.
I'm so excited.
I'm coming dressed as Laura. Okay, that's me.
A ghost?
Laura will be at
ghost.
and she will be here
Neverland.
for the recaps. I'm
Neverland. All right. Well, thank you, Art.
All right, thanks guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, that's it. You can take us out, child.
Well, everybody, we thank you. Sammy, Tez, Jamie, thank you so much for your participation as always. Cortez, thank you for giving me this opportunity to host today. And yeah, until next time, lean out. Make sure you like and subscribe, as we've said 80 times, so you have no reason not to. 85
Make sure y'all check out our Atlanta recaps. We're on Mondays at 8:30, and then we're doing Summer House Martha's Vineyard that was live yesterday. Really good show. Check it out. It's a brand new show. So you may say you don't know. You can get to know them. And yeah. So all right, y'all. Y'all have a good night. Have a good weekend too. We don't see y'all. Peace.